Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are on the globe. I'm Méganne Updates, bringing to you fur by the minute, the fluff, the raw, and sometimes the rough. Now, in this week's news, I wanted to actually, so I was just making sure the sound was okay. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm going to change that little thing there that I should have done before, but I did not do. Please forgive me. Just going to write our name, right? So that none of you forget my name. All right. And I'm going to make sure it's in caps. Right. So I am Méganne. And well, on Tuesday, we talked about, sorry, probably thinking, why is your computer shaking? If you saw my setup, you would understand. But yeah, so last week's news was what I wanted to cover on Tuesday, because I didn't get a chance to do that because one of our producers, Mariah, has been on vacation in a remote area, so therefore not available. But last week's news, we did talk about the horse and carriage situation, which has picked up some steam. And I think that's a really important subject for us to talk about. And right now they're saying that so what I'd covered on Tuesday was a horse from a horse-drawn carriage had actually collapsed in the middle of the streets of New York, and it was not a pretty situation. It got to the point where the NYPD got involved and they hosed the horse down. And it turns out that the horse had been stumbling all week. I've been following this story. The horse had been stumbling all week. They have video of the horse stumbling about all week through Central Park and, you know, the rest of Manhattan, of course. And so they were able to get the horse up because it completely collapsed. It was on the ground in the middle of the street, and there were passengers. And apparently what the real hoopla was is that the driver of the carriage was hitting the actual horse to try to get him up. So he kept hitting him, and a lot of people got really upset. And so for a long time, people in New York wanted to get rid of this horse-drawn carriage situation going on in Central Park and the rest of Manhattan, because it's not safe for the horses. They're not well treated. And what you saw the horse on Tuesday, if you look at the live on Tuesday, the horse was emaciated. So it's obviously not getting fed properly as well. And it turns out that the horse, once they brought him to the veterinary, the horse that collapsed in question, the horse in question that collapsed, it turns out that the horse had a neurological disorder that it got from possum poop. Yeah, possum poop is dangerous for horses. And it gave him a neurological disorder, and now he's been retired. So a lot of people are saying that they're not believing it, but I did put a link to a change.org petition for those who want to ban horse and carriages in New York City. So if you guys are interested in that, you can look at that. But the update now is a story that I found in cbsnews.com. And they're saying, so I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Here's the story. So now they're saying that animal rights advocates want criminal charges filed in case of carriage horse collapsing in Hell's Kitchen. By the way, they don't call it Hell's Kitchen anymore. They don't like that. But yes, I believe they petitioned to change the name. It's Clinton something, I believe. I'm not sure, I don't remember, but it was quite some time ago. But yeah. And so there are new calls for criminal charges after the video in question, which I showed on Tuesday's live broadcast. And so it shows a 14-year-old carriage horse. So the horse is 14 years old. And his name is Ryder. He was lying in the middle of 9th Avenue. And they were hosing him down. The NYPD, that is, because it was during a heat wave. That was last week in New York. And so when he got to the vet, they tested and they found out that he also had a neurological disorder brought on by, you know, possum poop, which is probably in his feed. Oh, he's just hungry, you know. And so now they're thinking of bringing on charges because they're saying Ryder collapsed of neurological disease caused by eating grass contaminated with possum droppings. And however, activists disagree, saying the horse suffered from long-term neglect. So Ryder, quoting, Ryder displayed neurological signs, muscle atrophy, poor body condition. Bernkret said, whenever there is anything that happens with our horses, they want to take the extreme. Hansen said, so these must be drivers. Of course, they're defending their cause because they don't want to lose their livelihood. But you know what? Let me tell you something. If you'd not been abusing the horses, guess what? Nobody would say anything to you, people. I know I'm getting a little bit straight, but sometimes you've got to get straight with them people, right? Because at the end of the day, I see you arting a horse in front of my own eyes. Dukes are up. Yeah, we fighting. We fighting. That's not happening. No, you do not hit another being. You do not abuse another being. You don't do that. You do not do that. And so now that they're saying, oh, they're exaggerating. You can't exaggerate a video where you see an emaciated horse on its side, collapsed in the heat. This is another thing. It's a heat wave. Why is Ryder even working? Why are the horses working when there's a heat advisory? The heat advisory is for all beings. All beings should be staying in cool areas, should not be in the heat, outside, in the sun. But that's exactly where Ryder was, and Ryder should not have been there. And so therefore, Mr. whomever, Hansen, the driver, has denied anyway that he was yelling at the horse. Lies. Lies. You've got a bunch of witnesses who saw you yelling at him. Naughty cockroach. Everybody saw him moving. Yeah, they saw him stumbling around, stumbling about. I saw the video. He was stumbling about. You can't get out of this one, Mr. Hansen. You can't. You really can't. And so, and plus, you can't deny what they found in the tests. There you go. The tests prove it all, and that's it. So now they're saying whenever there is anything that happens with the horses, this is what they're saying. These drivers, I just repeated it, but whatever, I'm very heated. They want to take the extreme, Hansens, and they want to take the extreme. So the DA's office now says it is reviewing the incident with the spokesman writing. This is from the DA's office. Animals should be treated humanely, and we take any incident of animal cruelty extremely seriously. So that makes me happy. And honestly, since you don't know how to treat the animals, guess what? They should be taken away from you. You don't get to play with them anymore. You don't get to make money on them anymore, because obviously you had a chance. But they've been doing this for like 50 years, maybe 100 years. Haven't there been horse-drawn carriages for like 100 years? It's time for this to stop. You put the carriage on your back and you carry the passengers. I've seen it done. It's called a rickshaw. Yeah, why don't you rickshaw yourself into a new career? Yeah, see what the horse has been dealing with. That's what you ought to do. So that was that for this story. And of course, I had plenty to say because I was very upset about it. I mean, if you've seen the video, you've got to see it. It's on my live from Tuesday. Very, very upsetting. Okay, so another update that I'm going to do today is concerning, this also upsets me. So here we are, right, with this monkeypox business, right? Why oh why did a couple who had monkeypox in Paris, right, romantic at all, why did they, how do I say this? As they were recovering, both from having dalliances outside of their couplehood, I think they're married. They decided to heal together in the bed with their greyhound. And guess what happened to the greyhound? The greyhound caught monkeypox. So now, who is like, what is going on? And then you know what they said? Guess what? Who said? Guess what? Who said? I'll show it to you. Guess what? Who said? Let me show this to ya. Let me be your man. Sorry. The way I said it reminded me of that song. So this is from CNN.com. Thank you, CNN.com. They're saying, this is an article by Naomi Thomas from CNN.com. They're saying the first possible case of human to dog monkeypox transmission, not surprising. That's what WHO says. See, right here. That's what WHO says. Not surprising. This is the first possible case of human to dog transmission of monkeypox. All right? Yeah. So the men who live together and are in a non-exclusive relationship were diagnosed with monkeypox at a hospital in Paris in June. And 12 days after their symptoms started, their 4-year-old Italian greyhound also started showing symptoms, according to a report published last week in the journal The Lancet. So the dog developed lesions. So the dog developed lesions and tested positive for the same type of monkeypox as one of the owners, as one of them. So he didn't catch, luckily, the others monkeypox. He only caught one of them monkeypox. So according to the report, the men said that they let their dog sleep in bed with them and that they had been careful to keep their pet away from other animals or humans from the start of their own symptoms, before the dog's symptoms started. Well, thank goodness for that, right? So now not only do you have monkeypox, and that dog has been an emotional support dog for you while you convalesce. Now, who's going to be an emotional support for that dog? I'm having trouble talking. That's my question. So now they're saying, to the best of our knowledge, the kinetics of symptom onset in both patients and subsequently in their dogs suggest human to dog transmission of monkeypox virus. Given the dog's skin and mucosal lesions, that means in the mouth, in the mucous membranes, mouth, eyes, whatever, as well as the positive monkeypox virus PCR results from anal and oral swabs, whole thing, we hypothesize a real canine disease, not a simple carriage of the virus by close contact with humans or airborne transmission. So I don't know, does it mutate to like a canine type of monkeypox or something? That's my question. I guess they don't know. So they've got to do further research. But at the end of the day, if you're sick, if you're ill, especially something that's foreign to you, and you're not aware of whether it's a new disease, right? Please do not bring your pet in your bed. First of all, your pet does not belong in the bed. That's my philosophy. That's Méganne's philosophy. Don't tell me I don't love a pet. I love a pet, but they're not going to be in my bed. I've talked about this before. We've talked about dogs in beds, pets in beds. Not for me. Not for me. Perhaps when I've woken up, I'm like relaxing in the bed. I may let you in for a brief moment with some sort of covering so that you can put your body, you pet you, and lay next to me. But otherwise, yeah, not happening. No, not happening. I'm not letting the bed and the dog dalliance together whilst I'm in the bed, to understand, especially if I've got a disease or something. Please, people, use your minds. Use your minds. Be sensitive to others, to other beings. You're not the only one on this earth, really. You really aren't. And so, so now they're saying that WHO experts have been working with partners such as World Organization of Animal Health and the Food and Agriculture Organization to address the issue. So the messaging that has been given up until now is that pets should be isolated from the family members who may be infected. No bloody kidding. This has been an example of precautionary approach. Yeah. And so since this hasn't happened before, understandably, people are sort of navigating. But I mean, stands to reason. You're not well. You've got a foreign disease. Keep the dog out the bed. That's it. And then, so now it says here, Lewis, who's Lewis? Who are you? Lewis is somebody. Says it isn't clear, he's probably from who? It isn't clear whether the infected dog will be able to transmit the virus back to humans. Ah! That'd be karma. But sometimes, even when they don't have all the evidence, public health professionals have to figure out the most useful messaging that will allow people to appreciate their level of risk. All right, people. So what's the takeaway? Is sick, isolate, isolate, isolate. Even them too. Really. Just because you got the monkeypox don't mean you got the same monkeypox. They could have infected each other with cross monkeypox, right? They should have both isolated. So isolate, isolate, isolate. I think that's the name of the game. You're feeling sniffly, you're feeling ill, whatever. Isolate, isolate, isolate until you figured out what it is that's wrong with you. All right? Let's be a little bit more selfless and less selfish. That's it. That's all. That's all I've got to say about that. Woo. So yeah, so that's it for the monkeypox, yeah? It's a sad situation. I feel bad for the greyhound, but they're small little things. They're little skinny too. And could you imagine having lesions? So that means when that dog has got a lesion, it feels that it's in its bones because it's so close to the skin and all. Poor thing. Ugh, people drive me crazy. So that's it for the monkeypox. And so these are the 2 updates I wanted to make. And now for some light-hearted stuff. Here it is. This one really got my goat. I was like, what is it saying? All right, this is funny. All right, I mean, it's not funny because if it happened to me, I'd be pissed right off. I'd be right pissed. I'd be like, what happened? But I think it's funny nonetheless. This actually happened. So I can imagine my own reaction, really. It wouldn't be pretty. But here's this story from Fred. Is it FRR.com? FRR.com. Couples' pet dogs eat their winning lottery ticket. Not one dog, but 2 dogs. This article was written by Carly Silva. And where did this happen? A couple in Oregon looked out when they were still able to cash in on, they were able to cash in on a winning lottery ticket after the dogs mistook it for a chew toy. Really? You've got dogs that don't know the difference between a lottery ticket and a chew toy. What's going on in that house? That's my question. What's going on in there? The Oregon Lottery is no stranger to misshapen tickets, having received them drenched in mud after being run through the washing machine and in more curious states. Ooh, you know what I just imagined? It's the story about this woman who went into jail and then she kissed the man and the man died of an overdose. That's not the story that I'm trying to get at. The story I'm trying to get at is that I believe it must have been, no, not that. They say it was a balloon, right? Usually they put balloons for means and all that. The drug means. It's supposed to pass through your whole colon system. You're supposed to poop it out, right? And so this is what I'm thinking. Somebody probably bought them a ticket that hadn't been pooped out. Curious states. Yeah, that's what that's telling me. It's giving me, we once had to evaluate a ticket that had been pooped out. This is just my imagination. I've got a bit of imagination. I probably use it anyway, but officials were able to collect. So this happened on August 11th. Officials were able to collect all the necessary pieces to determine the ticket's status, allowing Rachel and Nathan Lamette to redeem their earnings after their two Alaskan clay kiosks tore it up. I'm not familiar with that breed. Is there a picture of them? For some reason, we left the ticket on the ottoman. Some reason. And they decided it was delicious, didn't they? Are you feeding them? Because I'm sorry. There's no way that my pets would find anything like that delicious. Why? Because they've got discerning tastes. That's how my pets have been. Discerning. You understand? Yeah. For some reason, we left the ticket on the ottoman and they decided it was delicious. I just read that. Lamette said of her dogs, Jack, to, the babies. We should have started with that. Jack, 2, and Apple 11 once. They don't know any better. I went to bed, and when I woke up, it was eaten to the point that I thought it was unable to be checked. But her husband, Nathan, thought it was hilarious. And that someone at the lottery might get a good laugh out of it, said it's for sure a winner. The Oregon Lottery allows winning tickets to be sent by mail, so the couple decided to send in the mangled ticket along with a photo of their pups and a note detailing what happened. So they didn't even know what the numbers were. They just figured, it's a winner. It's been chewed up. It's a winner. To their surprise, the Oregon Lottery was able to piece what was left of the ticket back together. And the $3 Barrow Gold crossword ended up fetching the couple $8. I made this whole freaking article for $8. That's what I get. I wanted to be surprised. I was expecting $3 million, $5 million, maybe $500,000. I would accept that. But to rate this whole bloody article for $8, I'm annoyed. I'm done with you. That was the story. I'm not finishing it because it's bloody $8 and I'm annoyed. I thought it was going to be a lot of money. Bloody $8. That's too funny, Lamette says, when they found out they'd be receiving a check in the mail. Shut up. $8 bloody. I read a whole article for $8 bloody. I'm gonna make that sound in Australian. I'm not sure what's going on. I think I've been watching stuff in Australia. I think that's what, no, we've been doing some investigation in Australia. Well, if anybody's got any news about what's going on with, Amber Heard and Australia and what's going on there, please let us know at where should you let us know? You know what? Let me look this up. You should let us know. You should definitely let us know. Hold on. Yes, if you've got news about what's going on, if anybody would like to talk about what's going on in Australia and the Amber Heard situation where she brought in Boo and Pistol into Australia and did not declare them, yeah, please let us know and send us, a message through our YouTube channel. You can definitely do that. Yeah, please do so. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Send us a message. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments and say, I've got information about what's going on in Australia, blah, blah, blah. Because, I've been, sort of racking my brain to find out a little bit more about what's going on. And is there an extradition order? She have to go back to Australia and face charges, all of that, perjury, all of that. I think that would be interesting. So please, if you've got information, send us a comment below. And, our email is on our profile. We will definitely, or look through our social media, right? And you can DM us. Yes, through social media, you can DM us. Motley Crew on Instagram, right? There's Fur News, the Fur Show on TikTok, yeah. And there's the Motley Crew TikTok as well. So you can DM us at any of them places if you've got some information about Amber Heard and whether she's going to be extradited, what's going on with that, all of that. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So now to the next story. And this one, I was like, what? Yeah, I was right, talked about this one. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Check this out. So a few more stories on Tuesdays live. I was like, what? All right. Check this out. This was in State News, KGET.com. This is an NBC subsidiary in California. It is illegal to have these 7 animals as pets in California. Check this out. Check this out. Ferrets. Ferret. You cannot have a ferret. I love a bloody ferret. You cannot have a ferret. You cannot have a ferret. You cannot have a ferret. Gerbils can live without them. They like to jump and such. Not completely. It's like the bouncing mice, really. The bouncing mice. All right? And then, there are these myths about them. I'm not going to talk about it. Hedgehogs. All right, so it's pretty much every animal that you see on TikTok, that you love on TikTok, you can't have them in California. It's illegal. And I'm like, how all them people have them animals? Hedgehogs, how cute are those? I'm always watching videos on TikTok with hedgehogs. Squirrels, I get it. They're gangster. I'm sorry. Any squirrel from the city is gangster. So I can understand that. The rabies situation, I understand that as well. But from my experience, they're quite gangster. Yeah. I've not had an experience where the squirrel was that tame. Obviously, when I was a young girl in the garden, it was different, I don't know. I think it's used people that make them gangster. I really think that's what it is. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the first animal I ever really understood and spoke to. Yeah. People don't know. I talk to animals and they talk to me. I understand them. So, yeah. Monkeys. I'm always, there's this one vet crew in the Ukraine. Crazy story. But I've been obsessed with their monkey. Can't have a monkey. Can't have a monkey. raccoons, garbage eaters. I can understand that one. But I've seen them look really adorable. And I'm like, I could pet one. Not gonna have one, but I pet one. Chipmunks. Oh my God. How cute are chipmunks? You can't have them. You can't have them. Stop looking at them. You can't have them. So them's the sevens you can't have. They're illegal in California. Chipmunks, raccoons, monkeys, squirrels, hedgehogs, gerbils, and bloody ferrets. All my favorites. All my favorites. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I'm sure other people will be as offended as I am. I was pretty offended. It's like, are you kidding me? Can't have what? And what? And what? Yeah, I was right. Pissed off about it. Right, this one's cute. You know, I'm completely for this. This, I'm for. I think everybody should do this. You're not doing it. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not fit to live. Beijing pet lovers turn to acupuncture to treat their furry friends. This is a must. This is from France24.com. And strapped in tight, the prone poodle nervously eyes vet as it gently sticks fine needles onto its back and paws, summoning the ancient art of acupuncture to treat the pet's aches and pains. So far, I haven't seen any videos. Anyway, so I'm all for it. Pets and acupuncture for pain. I've done acupuncture. It's done wonders, but let me tell you something. You've got to choose the right person. If you don't choose the right person with the right energy, the wrong energy is going to transfer to you. The right energy, it's painless. You don't feel nothing at all, and you're refreshed. Absolutely. I recommend it for people and pets. Yeah, absolutely. I endorse this message. Yeah. And now the last one. Oh, I think this one was a little bit like, what are you saying right now? Yeah. This one was like, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure I can get behind this because there are lots of repercussions in this. So check this out. From ctvnews.ca in Canada, scientists plan the resurrection of an animal that's been extinct since 1936. Look at it. The Tasmanian tiger may live once again to kill. No, I don't know. Scientists want to resume the striped carnivorous marsupial. It's a carnivorous marsupial. Fun. Officially known as a thylacine, which used to roam the Australian bush. Well, as long as it's not next to me, the ambitious project will harness advances in genetics, ancient DNA retrieval, and artificial reproduction to bring back the animal. Are we bringing back Nanny as well? Because that's where this is going. We're bringing back Nanny as well. We thought she was buried and gone, but no, it looks like we're bringing her back. That's where we're going with that. And so that's pretty much what they're talking about. It's a project that's costing like $15 million. And the thing is about the size of a coyote. It disappeared about 2,000 years ago, virtually everywhere except for Australia. And then I guess 1936 was the last time they've seen it. So yeah, that's the plan, people. Absolutely. So that's all for today. And, that's it, So thank you for sticking it out during this live. I'm not sure. I've not looked to see if there was anybody in there because I've been doing it odd times just so that I could be alone as I get used to doing lives more and more. So if there are some people, I was not ignoring you. I just simply, there wasn't. So that works out. Yeah, I've been doing them really late because I just want to sort of once I'm comfortable, I'm going to let people know ahead of time, hey, there's going to be a live. And plus, you guys don't want to go through my meandering through stuff and not knowing what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. And so I want to save you that whole process. So when I do talk about certain things I've talked about in live, I will put it on Instagram and timestamp it so you don't have to go through the whole live. And once I've gotten things together, and once Mariah comes back, this is going to be the after show, right? So right now I'm doing a little bit more because, well, she's not here and I feel like we should do some, relevant stuff. But yeah, I'm going to do it'll be the after show. And that's how we're going to handle it. But thank you so much. And that's a wrap for us this morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are on the globe. I'm Méganne Updates. Be sure to sniff out the latest headlines you need to know from the Pandemic Network, brought to you by the Motley Crew. And honestly, if you've got story suggestions or feedback, please let us know. Leave a comment. All right? And have a good evening, good morning, or afternoon. Bye-bye.